warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Afifah Khoirun Nisa and my friend name is Khairani Mahfuza. In this video, we want to present our assignment in debate lesson 2, which is led by Miss Wariyati, S.Pd. M.Hum. In this case, our motion is restrictions on the use of tissue in order to conserve forests. Happy watching! Tissue paper is a kind of lightweight crepe paper that can be used for a variety of purposes, such as hygienist tissue paper, facial tissue, toilet paper, wrapping paper, and many more. Tissue paper can be made from real or recycled pulp. Tissue paper is used to make a variety of products that have different quality properties and requirements, which include strength, absorption, base weight, thickness, brightness, appearance, and etc. This tissue is made the raw material of bark, which is turned into pulp. To produce 40 pieces of tissue, it takes a tree that is 6 years old. Even though this one tree can produce oxygen to support 3 people, so as much as possible, we don't use tissue if we don't need it.
Okay, I'll respond to what you say. There is such a thing as selective cutting system, which means an action to overcome forest damage by cutting down trees that are ready to be produced to become logs, or large trees that are already big and leaving young trees not after cutting down selectively. We have to replant tree seedlings and reforest them so that there is no damage to ecosystem, so that timber companies cannot cut trees carelessly.
That's true, Miss Fuza. The selective logging system already exists, but in fact, not all timber companies apply this system. If they are flooded with orders, they can cut down the existing trees in order to meet consumer demand. In addition, there are still many illegal logging of forest timber, even though it has been stipulated by law. In my opinion, the timber company is only principled and acts to cut down the trees, not to replant them. Of course, this is detrimental to many parties.
If you tell about a company that violates the rules, it's different. It can be subject to the illegal logging clause, the same as a company that dumps factory waste in river. You can blame the consumer, but what I mean here is for companies that adhere to the rules with the system. Selective logging, they cut and they replant.
Okay, Miss Fuza, then we will put aside the consumer first. Regarding responsible companies that carried out deforestation, this is certainly not enough to help our planet. In fact, producing 40 pieces of tissue requires one tree that is 6 years old. If a tissue factory produces thousands of tons of tissue annually, imagine how many trees must be cut down annually. This is still counted the production of one factory, while in Medan alone, there are more than 20 tissue factories, not to mention in Indonesia. Even though every time the tree is harvested, it does reforestation, but it must a period of 6 years, and then the plant trees can be fought again.
Don't forget, the more trees that are cut down, the more reforestation. If you say we have to make the use of tissue not excessive, in what context is excessive? Take 10 pieces of tissue, then just scatter it. Many people need tissue, especially in health problems. If you are injured, you need to spend a lot of tissue to clean the wound. It is impossible for you to only use one tissue with a white wound for reason of savings.
What I mean is redundant, namely to use it without urgent reasons. For example, when frying food, many people put a tissue on a plate and then pour the fry with the excuse that the oil is not excessive. Even though, when it's finished frying, just drain it in the frying pan. Another example, when you finish eating, Nowadays, people always depend on tissue, even though this tissue can still be replaced with hand rag, which were also used in eating plates before the prevalence of tissue use as it is today. As you mentioned earlier, the use of tissue for health problems can actually still be replaced with running water, cotton, bandage, and gas. So, even though you still have to use a tissue, at least the use is less than from beginning to end without the help of the thing I mentioned earlier. So, this can help conserve forests on our earth. Just like medical personnel, of course, they better understand the importance of body health to breathe oxygen instead of carbon dioxide.
Use a hand towels. If I plate to a restaurant, how many hand towels do you have not to use? Then wash it again. Shouldn't we also save water? And then, as you mentioned earlier, that everyone keeps band-aids at home or their bags. Most people keep tissue. Even when we get a one, we buy a tissue to stop bleeding because the tissue is sold everywhere, and the band-aid is only in the pharmacy. What if someone has a small wound, then have to stop the bleeding? Do you have to go all the way to the pharmacy just buy a bandage, or share it with your clothes? In fact, tissue is very necessary, even in everyday life, such as spilled sods on clothes. Do you have to buy cotton from the pharmacy to save tissue?
At least we can better protect our earth for the future survival and not increase the volume of waste by using disposable objects. What I'm saying is that restrictions are not prohibition, so in the meantime it must be okay, but if not, try to replace them with other objects. But I still respect your opinion because everything comes back to each other.
Okay, then I also appreciate to your opinion, and I hope that we as humans can protect our environment so that our earth is always healthy. I'm Khairani Mahfuza and my friend Afifah Khoirun Nisa say goodbye and thank you. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.